Frank Gehry, Daniel Libeskind, Zaha Hadid, Bernard Tschumi, Peter Eisenman. What comes in your mind when you hear these names? I'm sure you can imagine those weird-looking, distorted, almost impossible to comprehend buildings that make you wonder how anyone could have designed those, let alone build them. Well, let me tell you, all such buildings are actually a part of a very specific, non-rectilinear approach to design called deconstructivism, which is often described as one of the most visually striking and perplexing types of art ever developed. Let's begin with a very simple question. What is deconstructivism? It is easier to say what it is not. It is not postmodernism, neither it is conventional modernism, it is not scenographic or picturesque. Although this term refers to tearing down existing structures, but in architecture, perhaps not. Perhaps it is intentional. Deconstructivism freed architecture from the dominance of the principles of classical aesthetics, but at the same time, it is highly theoretical, a bit harsh and loud. So it's safe to say that it is an unpredictable, controlled chaos. Now the question is, why was it introduced? Deconstructivism gives the impression of fragmentation, manipulating the structure's surface through transformation of basic shapes. The finished visual appearance of the buildings seems to be distorted, thus denying any sense of stability or structure. The constructivist architects rejected the postmodernism by challenging harmony, unity, and stability, and proposing the view that the flaws are intrinsic to structure. Deconstructivism was negating the supposedly constricted rules of modernism, such as form follows function, purity of form, truth of material, etc. So the question is, does that mean deconstructivism abandoned functionalism? Designers sought to fragment construction maintaining the core function of a space. We began to manipulate surface structures, creating non-rectilinear shapes which seem dislocated at first glance. It can result in whatever we wish, and as a consequence, it suffers from a lack of consistency. Characters. Nothing has much meaning anyway. Exploding forms in loose collections of fragments, destruction of the dominant right angles by using diagonal lines, provoking shock and uncertainty by distortion of regularity of environment, and rejection of the idea of a perfect form. Decon interiors. Drama within the space. The artistic decon style was not restricted to massive level only, but also extended to interior of spaces, creating drama. Today, this style is mostly employed in public places, whether it's a youth cafe or nightclubs. However, decon is often used as an interior style for residential premises as well. Material. Since deconstructivism arose during the mass introduction of advanced technologies in everyday life, we design interiors using the most modern, high-strength materials such as reinforced glass, ultra-light metal, and plastic. At the same time, the complex shape of the partition walls, ceilings, and doorways are often created with the use of drywall construction. We pay special attention to lighting in the interior. In contrast to constructivism, in which the main source of lighting is windows, here in deconstructivism, we use complex structures with sun lamps, diode illumination of individual interior elements, and multi-level ceilings with spot lighting. Color. As for the color scheme, preference is given to contrasting colors, but we often use softer shades as well. The dominant color is white. This popularity is due to the fact that on a white background, contrasting colors of different articles stand out. Furniture. Despite the fact that deconstructivism denies correct geometric forms, furniture in the style of decon can be concise and restrained. We designers emphasize on decorative elements. Decoration. Decon does not limit us in the choice of decorative elements. In the interior, we can use the latest developments, whether it's glass tables and chairs filled with water, etc. The main thing is that all the decorative elements we design are in the same style and harmoniously combined with each other. Modern thoughts. This style emerged with many legendary architects adding their own touch. But one similar character among all these was his thirst to do something unique. They have created such masterpieces that would stand as an inspiration for forthcoming architects. At the end, deconstructivism is more likely to take its place in the history of theoretical architecture than in the pantheon of major styles. It is a correction in the architectural culture that will be remembered more for its sound and beauty than for anything else. Not as a phenomenon that has enlarged the possibilities of architecture, but one that has narrowed them down.